Welcome back everyone. So in today's video we are going to look at the topic is method overloading versus method overriding. Now in the previous videos we have gone through exactly what is overloading and what is overriding. In this video we are going to see at the exact difference. What exactly is the difference? And this will also help you to crack the interviews. If you really go for an interview and if you come across this question that what exactly is the difference, so here is the video. So the great Java mix-up, method overloading and method overriding. They sound the same, they look similar, but confusing them is the quickest way to introduce structural bugs into your Java application. So they sound very much similar, but they are very different. The umbrella concept, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism means many forms. So both concepts are simply tools that allow Java methods to take on many forms. But then polymorphism, there are two types. That is compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Now the crucial difference lies entirely in exactly when the system decides which form to use. Okay, so concept one is method overloading. Now in method overloading, as what we have seen in the previous video, it has the same method name. That's the first rule, but they will have different parameters. Okay, same method name but different parameters, and it is decided at the compile time. So which method, which function to call, that is decided during the compile time and not at the runtime. So what is method overloading? In method overloading rule, if you talk about the rule, they will have the same method name, but they will have the different set of parameters. Over here, we have 2 parameters, and over here, there are 3 parameters. So changing the number or type of parameters creates an entirely new option for the compiler to choose from. So either the number of parameters should be different or the data type should be different. Okay, so that's method overloading. So overloading in action, as you can see, there's a class and then there are 2 functions with the same name, right? So the method name remains the same but different sets of parameters. The compiler knows exactly which method to execute based purely on the inputs you provide. No inheritance is required. Now this is a very important point, that inheritance is not required over here in method overloading. Okay, as you can see, this is simply a class. Inside that class we have 2 methods with the same name. So that's overloading, where inheritance is not required. Now if you look at the overloading rules, so what are the rules of method the overriding rules? Okay, so in method overriding, yes, that's the common rule. That is the method name will be same. Okay, even in overloading, it is the same thing. The method name will be same, but in method overloading, we had a different set of parameters. Whereas in overriding, we will have the same parameters, exactly the same. And method overriding, which method to call, that is decided at runtime. And very, very important is it requires inheritance, because there will be a parent class, and from that parent class we will have a derived class. So both the class will have the same method name and exactly the same parameters. The child class intercepts and entirely replaces the parent class's default behavior. So this is the basic difference between method overloading and method overriding. These are the rules. Okay. Overriding in action, as you know, there is an animal class and then there is a dog class which has been inherited from animal. There are 2 methods with exactly the same name. identical signatures. As you can see, even the methods are same. There is no parameters, so in both the methods. So the signature should be also the same. Understand it. If there are parameters, the parameters will be also the same. And that is overriding. The core difference, timing is everything. Compile time, overloading. Runtime, overriding. This is the 2 points that you should keep in your mind. That when you talk about overloading, that's compile time, and when you talk about overriding, that's runtime. Over here, the compiler reads your source codes and locks in the exact method call before the app ever runs. And this is like the JVM waits until the application is actively running to check the exact object type in memory before triggering the method. So this is done while the program is running. During that time, it is decided which method is to be called. So overloading is equal to different parameters. Overriding is equal to the same parameters. And that's the golden rule. Remember this rule. And that's the comparison, execution phase, compile time, runtime, parameter rule must be different. Over here must be identical. Inheritance, over here it is not required, but in overriding it is mandatory. Polymorphism type, this is compile time, which is called as static, and this is runtime, and so it is called as dynamic. Now, one important thing that I wanted to tell you is this override annotation, changing only the return type. Now, this is a bug because what is happening over here? There are 2 methods, exactly the same parameters, but the return type is different. But this is not going to work. As I told in the previous video, the return type is completely ignored by the compiler, and so this will give an error. Now, and the second is the override annotation. Now this I haven't told you, so what I'm going to do is we are going to switch to VS Code, and then I'm going to explain you what is the @ override annotation. So here we are into the VS Code, and we have a person over here, right? And there is a constructor, and then there is one method that is display. And then we have student, which is inherited from person. And over here also we have the method that is display. So this method display, we can say that this is overriding the method of the class person, that is this display, right? And this will absolutely work. There won't be any problem as such. For example, I will just create the main file. So I will just try to open the main file in case we already have it. So main.java, we will just see. Yes, we have that. Okay, as you can see over here. Now I'm just going to save this and let me just run this. Now this code will not give us any error, but can you just see this S1 object? I have created this object of class student. So when I say S1.display, it is going to give a call to this method. That is the method of the class student and not this method, which belongs to person. So why? Because this is overriding. Let me just remove this, and then we will just compile this. That is Java C main.java, and then I will say Java main. And can you see we have, okay, this is not the exact output over here. I think this is not the folder that we are supposed to be, and that is the Java folder. And now I will compile main.java and then Java main, and now we will have the output. Okay, the marks is 76. Forget these 2 messages, these are the constructor messages, but over here we can see there is marks is 76. Why? Because in the class student, the display is only displaying the marks, and this is overriding the method of class person. Okay, now let us come back to the annotation, that is @. So this is the method which I am overriding, right? So what I will do, I will write @override. Now what does this indicate? This indicates to the developers or to the team that you work with that this method is not the method which belongs to student. Yes, it does belong to student, but it is been inherited. So this is an inherited method, and this method is overriding the method of the class person. This is what this @ indicates. That's it. Okay. Now, if we do not write this, still the program runs, right? So in that case, what exactly is the use? The use is, for example, if I make some typographical error, over here it is display in person. So I come to student and I do something like this. Okay. So this is capital D, and over here this is small d. So technically I am actually not overriding the method display. Then this display is simply a method which belongs to the class student and nothing more than that. In that case, suppose if I keep this as display, okay, I'll keep this again as display as what it was, and I try to compile this and run this, we will have the output. But if I make this D as capital and I'm saying that I'm overriding this, no, we are not overriding. Now, if I save this and if I try to compile this now, can you see that error? Method does not override or implement a method from the super type. So to avoid such bugs, okay, we normally have to add @ override. It is not required, but yes, it does. It plays an important role when your software is really, really huge. Okay, so that's the working of override. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you really feel that I'm giving you real content, then you can subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.